My current project concerns countries that have a very high mortality of heart disease, 10 times higher than in Denmark. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, they also, at least in 2010, have a high rate of heart disease. And it would be interesting to know to what extent that can be reduced by removing trans fat from the food. Well, from the evidence we have in Denmark, it has been possible to reduce the mortality with in a population of 5 million. It was reduced with 700 per year in 5 million. In Lithuania, I think you 2.5 or 3 million, so it would be about 300 to 400 premature deaths per year that could be prevented by removing trans fat. That's samples from the food that fulfills the inclusion criteria. That means more than 15 grams of fat per 100 grams of product, and it on the list of ingredients say partly hydrogenated fat, refined fat, confectionery fat, or hydrogenated fat. I know this smell from many years of work, but I cannot smell whether it contains trans fat or not. That's not possible. That would save me $100 if I could say it's contained 20% trans fat. I cannot. I put it down, and whenever I do this movement, I am $100 poorer than before I dodged.
Why?
Because I have to pay $100 for one analysis. I prefer the lab in the United States, and I've used the same lab since 2011. See, this is my collection of folders. Each folder contains packages from the food I have investigated. There are 60 different countries, and there are more than 4,000 folders. And if you see here from Lithuania, this is packages of the food I bought in August in Vilnius, and I have subsequently had analyzed for trans fat. I read on the list of ingredients, and if it says that it contains partially hydrogenated fat, then I take it home and I get it analyzed in the United States. And you will see there are all kinds of cakes, biscuit, and wafers here. So wafers. Some of them are produced in Lithuania, and some of them are produced in Poland, and some of them are produced in Ukraine. But they are all here. I found 32 products with more than 2% of the fat as trans fat out of the about 50 products.
So is it a big number?
No, not compared with other countries. In some countries in Central Asia, I found more than 100 different products with more than 2% of the fat as trans fat, and some of them contain very high amounts. There was only one product in Lithuania that has a high amount. All the other ones were rather low.
So what does it say to you? So what should Lithuania do in that case?
Well, it tells me that it would be a rather easy job for Lithuanian food producers to remove the small amounts of trans fat present in some of their popular foods. There were no more than 9 products from Lithuanian producers, so it would be a minor thing. Major contribution was shown here. We investigated the amount of trans fat in products from Kentucky Fried Chicken and McDonald's in year 2005 to 6, and this was published in a scientific journal, and it was something that contributed to a press message from McDonald's saying that they would remove trans fat from all the products they are serving all over the world, and at about the same time Kentucky Fried Chicken declared the same. Well, the paper that made Kentucky Fried Chicken and McDonald's change, that was 2 pages in New England Journal of Medicine, but that caused a tremendous drop in share values for McDonald's. So it had a lot of effect because the journalists all over United States, they felt that McDonald's had treated the American public. And so just 2 pages can have an enormous influence. The trans fatty acids shouldn't be eaten by small children. It shouldn't be eaten by anyone, but especially not by children, because it interferes with cholesterol, it interferes with brain function. So it's a very good thing that they remove trans fatty acids from popular children's food.
So in a way it's your victory. In a way it's your victory.
Yeah, you might call it a victory. I was just a contributor, and at a critical time where they decided to remove trans fat.
What is the feeling when you can change the course of history?
Well, it probably meant that I continue to do the work, because there's a lot of trans fat out in the world and it does not have there. Trans fat belong in shoe polish and not in food to people. And since it was possible to get McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken to change, then I know all factories can change, all food factories can change.